Wow, that was a huge opening night at Gamescom for Starbreeze and Payday 3. This is my in-depth, if slightly fatigued, trailer analysis for both the live-action and in-game trailers revealed during opening night live. For those of you that don't know, I am putting these initial thoughts together on the train from Frankfurt to Cologne as I too am heading straight to Gamescom to soak in some of that Payday action. So if you're in town and happen to have an event ticket, I'll be in and around the Payday 3 booth for the best part of the next 3 dates. On to what's important though, we need to talk about Ice-T. Not the new contractor I was expecting to hear from, but to be fair, not only is he musical royalty, this isn't his first rodeo in video games, doing an amazing job as Balex in Borderlands 3 if I remember correctly. He is an absolutely brilliant addition to the Payday 3 talent roster, in the same vein of Giancarlo Esposito back during the Dentist trailer for Payday 2, adding a bit of star power and genuine passion for the role. And unlike a certain competitor in the genre that went digging for talent to its detriment, Ice-T's addition seems not only to be tastefully executed, from what we've already heard of him in game, he's doing an excellent job as Mac, the new contractor for this dockyard job.
Okay, so here's the deal. The components are kept in high security cooling containers somewhere in the storage yard.
Nothing about this is phoned in. Speaking of the new job revealed in this Gamescom trailer, it's going to be taking place in New Jersey, Port Jersey to be precise, which is information I love getting in advance for when it comes to forming a narrative around Payday 3, instead of the educated guesswork I've had to do in the past. The goal of the job seems to be to steal components from the Wixia storage containers within the dockyard, specifically processors of some sort, but the gimmick of this loot is that it's time sensitive, degrading and losing value as soon as it's outside of its storage environment. 2 things on this. First, it's awesome to see we're already going after such a unique loot type, including SCB in the art gallery. That is now 3 different primary objectives for the gang from 3 different heists. Second, the idea of a time-sensitive objective like this completely changes the game from a gameplay strategy standpoint. This heist isn't simply a speedrun, as the timer only starts ticking when the loot is taken, meaning you have to really weigh up the risk and reward of grabbing that loot early. But from what I've experienced of Payday 3 so far, the perfect opportunity might never come if you just wait it out. So again, it adds a bit of jeopardy to proceedings. Also, I'm almost certain this is the heist that was hinted towards from the bonus Wixia objective in No Rest for the Wicked, meaning the intel we were probably stealing pertained to this heist specifically. Side note, dockyards are just such good environments for heisting. Ukrainian Prisoner had some of the best heist vibes of the Revival era, and you can see this one is following in its footsteps, just with twice the scope and detail. Oh, and more of those Almandia research vans pop up in this trailer, again pointing towards their potential role in the story. Evidently, stealth is a viable approach for this heist, and the addition of the zipline for traversal might be an asset that's useful for it, as it was in SCB. But if so, this one is a lot longer and seems more useful owing to the sheer size of this heist. Of course, in these trailers, things don't stay stealthy for long, with Loud quickly becoming the focus. I'm a huge fan of this holographic scope on the Scar, and as ever, Payday 3's combat and movement just look so weighty and impactful. Of course, this is a hood-off cinematic style trailer, but even so, a lot of that does translate into the game from my experience. And it wouldn't be a first-person shooter without a few red barrels to shoot at for additional environmental mayhem. It's Century City for this squad, with at least a couple of members bringing them in their build for this shot to make sense, and here we seem to get a look at the processes we're stealing within their security container before Hoxton takes it out. Also, I don't recognise the weapon he's holding immediately, so if anyone in the comments wants to point out if it's one we're already aware of, that would be hugely helpful. Oh, and you can forget flashbang transitions. The exploding barrel is now the golden standard for video editors across the lands, with one of the smoothest fades in history, where you can hardly even tell his car 4 was switched out. And that was also quite the hot swap to a much meatier revolver than the Castigo from back in the beta, which is a huge plus from my perspective as I found it to be just a little too floaty for my liking. Then Dallas is wielding a red dot sighted AK that looks about as busted here as it did when I tried it out. Also, cloakers will still be looking to get their kicks in on this heist, likely making good use of this map's verticality and lower light to ambushers from the shadows. And with a few more action shots, that's it for the trailer. Not a whole lot we can learn other than a dockyard is a great setting for a heist, Ice-T makes a badass contractor, and Gustavo is still pumping out banger after banger on the largest stage. But, let's be honest, this wasn't even the trailer you were all here for. You want live action, and so live action analysis you will get. Follow the Money is more than just another cool piece of Payday live action content though. More than anything, it's a mood setter. From this short 5-minute showcase, I felt the higher stakes, greater desperation, further brutality, and the cascade into insanity it seems Wolf has been taking. As someone who's taken great interest in Payday's lore and live action content for over 10 years now, this was cathartic, yet at the same time has me genuinely on edge to hear why the Payday gang are back in the saddle after what seemed like such a finer ending to Payday 2. Just to quickly address the elephant in the room, no, this is not Payday 2's original live action cast. The men behind the masks are likely stuntmen holding down the role in their masked appearances, as they were for the most part in Hoxton Breakout. The reasons why the original actors haven't returned appear to be complicated and vast, but for the time being, having the heisters dubbed by their in-game voice actors actually works incredibly well, and might have even been missed by some viewers who thought they were watching Poitier & Co. in the flesh. With that out the way, let's turn our attention to the trailer itself. First off, whoever got that drone shot with "Take" on the side of the building must have been relishing it, as that is of course one of the Payday gang's favourite slogans. This is a GenSec armoured transport which seems to be black branded in New York City, potentially to avoid any association with Payday 2's failed Washington department. Immediately, we can see this is a hit on Golden Shark, what seems to be the equivalent of First World or the Benevolent Bank in Payday 3. These camera shots use an incredibly similar UI to what we can expect in-game, which immediately gets us into the right mindset, and I do wonder if this is Shade's view as the heist kicks off. The timing being exactly on 10 AM seems to be intentional, looking to catch the cash transport within the actual hit on the bank. But as the old Core 4 walk in, we can see at least something isn't right. The gang's stylish Payday 3 appearances are missing, with Wolf seeming to have stolen Dragon's wardrobe for this one. I wonder if this was a prop constraint, or if it is intended to be a bridge heist between the events of Payday 2 and Payday 3 where they get their new looks. In any case, despite going for the slow and controlled approach, Wolf shooting his micro Uzi in the air to suppress the civilians might not have been the brightest idea. As the gang looks to control the civs, we see they all have their own unique approaches. Wolf is, the guys are really pushing him down that unhinged Swede route at the moment, whereas Dallas has a more commanding presence, and Chains goes for that military training style. I love the little details of taking and destroying everyone's phones with the vase water here. It just grounds everything in 2023 and makes it that bit more believable, and the masks are a nice touch too. Of course you can, it's not your money. Also has to be one of my absolute favourite Dallas voice lines as he tries to convince the teller to stop bagging it herself, giving off an aura of the Dallas of old, just with a little more desperation in his voice.
Of course you do. It's not your money. Masks on, wankers!
The way these lines have been dubbed with realistic mask effects just sounds spot on, to be honest. Huxton's also back to being a wanker with a capital W, amping up his British cheek to the max. Here we also realise why the short film is titled Follow the Money, as we are quite literally following around the life of a stack when the Payday gang is in town, from the genset bag, to the trolley, and now to the floor as it slips in front of this old lady. Oh, and in case you were worried, yep, Wolf's drilling again. We cannot expect the drill to stay gone forever. I think if it does make a return on a particular heist, it will be Golden Shark in Payday 3. Huge fan of this lass getting cheeky and going for the cash. Initially I thought it was a bit of a brutal action by Hox to step on her, seemingly crushing her fingers under his boot, but thinking about it, this is absolutely in his Payday 2 repertoire as well. Hoxton is a bit of a cold-hearted bastard, especially after prison. Also, I believe even though he's masked up the entire time, they still went to the effort of adding the burn prosthetics under his mask. Next, we see the incident that actually gets the police called, as this well-dressed man finds himself locked out of the bank in the middle of the day, with another reference to Golden Shark incorporated in this glass pane. Eventually, they get the vault open, the old-fashioned way, and start filling those duffel bags as the SWAT silently close in beneath them. I think these red bundles might be die packs, again alluding to a new in-game mechanic. And we can only hope that's the case here too, as the gang, shock horror, pick up 2 bags at a time. A revolutionary mechanic that needs to be added to Payday 3 in my opinion. Just as Wolf gets a chance to smell the cash, the cops crash the party and the real action gets underway. My number one takeaway from this as the glass shatters and our POV cash bundle gets blood splattered, assumedly by Wolf, is that he is completely gone in Payday 3. Dude is just giggling in this life or death situation. The smoke grenade is another nice touch though, as finally we can make use of that throwable option in game 2. Dallas also demonstrates the body shield tactic we can now employ in Payday 3, although one of his walking cover boys gets nailed right from under him. This might have just been for the drama of it all, but Dallas's shot response makes me wonder if this kind of police brutality is just the way it's going to be in the new game, displaying a desire to finish off the Payday gang regardless of the consequences. What I also found intriguing is that Dallas goes back for that last blood-smeared bundle. I know it makes for a cool and heroic shot, but this is the same Dallas that would happily chuck a bundle to Bobblehead Bob a few years ago. Does it maybe suggest that the gang are more desperate than ever and willing to follow the cash no matter where it leads? Just a thought, but at the very least, it allows the cash to go full circle, back into another bag, but this time it's Wolf and then none other than Ice-T who get to enjoy its aroma. And that's it. I really appreciate the director's vision on this one. It was in my eyes a big step up from the web series and acts as a perfect pilot for the potential Payday TV series that's in the works. Regardless of how that turns out, it's just amazing to see the gang in the flesh again and not a moment too soon with Payday 3 out in under a month. For now, I'm going to bed. It's been a long day and I can't wait to bring more Payday content live from Gamescom later this week. Take care, I'll see you all soon. A huge thank you to my dedicated Patreon backers. If you want to join this crew in going infamous, check out the link below and pledge as little as $2 to see your name in the credits, or get 24-hour early access to future videos and vote on upcoming content. Take care, I'll see you all soon.